In a world where ancient trails whisper tales of forgotten civilizations, where cultures intertwine and a dream takes flight, a remarkable journey awaits. Welcome to Zubaidah's Trail, a pilgrim's passage.
The camera work on this piece was so impressive. The cinematography was gorgeous, but kind of what they did with the camera angles and how they were doing drone shots, and they did Steadicam shots that went into like a semicircle to give the viewer kind of a perspective on what the expanse of this place was like. I think that was really, really ingenious and very, very clever. I liked the story. I also liked how the filmmakers decided in the interviews to use depth of field. It really kept your focus on the person who was talking, and what they were talking about was really fascinating and interesting. So I thought that was cool. The insert photographs that they used of Anna and the camel, I thought that was really endearing, and I'm so glad that they did that. This film takes you on a journey, and I was really happy to go on this journey with Anna, and I loved the interviews and listening to everybody talk and listening to their point of views.
The idea of this trail being neglected for so many years, and now kind of having this resurgence of people wanting to reconnect with their roots and reconnect with different cultures and histories and whatnot, I think that's very cool and a beautiful way to preserve history, especially when we live in an era where it seems like history is it's being repeated, but also for some reason being erased. So I think that's very, very beautiful. The work that Dr. Abdul Aziz is doing, amazing. He's an amazing man, and I think this is such a beautiful thing that he is doing. And being able to kind of spearhead this whole experience for everybody to be able to have this shared experience is such a beautiful thing. With all the different interviews and whatnot, I think it was done beautifully. It helped to kind of, create a seamless story to, talking about when the trail started, how it faded, how it came back due to his help, and just kind of like, going through the days leading up to their most recent excursion. So I thought that was really great. I think learning small little pockets of things, like kind of like how vets are now implemented into the walk, so that they watch over the animals and whatnot, and just things like that. I think it was very interesting and kind of like kept me on my toes the entire time. Going back to the interviews, I liked how there were different types of people who were interviewed, not just people who are of Saudi Arabian descent, not just doctor, but also people who are like, I've come from here, there, everywhere, and I heard about this, and this just felt like such a beautiful experience, and I wanted to be a part of it. Like even something as simple as that, I think having those different perspectives also in the documentary to show that it's not just those who their ancestors were specifically impacted by this trail, also knowing that there are other people around who are supportive of this and also want to learn their history and whatnot. I think it's a very beautiful, beautiful thing.
It's combine like the historical aspects, like about like the natural aspect and other like details into this documentary. It's not about like only a life story of someone who want to cross like the empty quarter, but it just starting from like one person who want to do it, and now it becomes like a common practice there. But it just showing like good and bad sides of doing that too. Like it's not easy like to cross like the desert, and there's needs like lots of preparations for someone who wants to do it. So I feel like it's pretty like informative in a way, but also like there have like some emotional messages, like something that would be constructive to anybody out there who would want to start this kind of practice or want to do something like in the same like volume as like this practice as well. So it's all good, like in terms of the narrative, the story, the footages, the details, informations, and the use of like camera shots are breathtaking.
When it comes to history, when it comes to experiencing things, particularly like this, where it is involved, it is a walking trail, it is something that you experience, you go through together with whatever group you are with whatever group is doing the hike, doing the walk, doing the journey, that the reach is much farther. And I really loved how they showcased that and really showed how they kind of brought it back, how they learned, how they maintain, and then how they have these different kind of options where you're actually on the trail, where you can do biking. They have people on camels. They have to help guide and help, facilitate, and how much thought really does go into it. And so I really loved it. I thought they touched on all of these different aspects, which I thought were really, really fascinating. But they continued to kind of educate, and they continued to show the importance and the kind of joy and the impactfulness of this journey, and what actually traveling it can be like, with some of the great interviews that they had. So I really enjoyed this. I thought it highlighted the importance of, even in this modern time, to not forget history and to not just learn about it, but like learn ways that you can be a part of it, and letting that reach beyond your own country or beyond your own culture, letting that reach out more globally and embracing.
This was fascinating subject matter in the vibe of like, I'd never even heard of this trail before or anything about this at all. And I feel like I came away with a genuine, deep understanding and appreciation. And I think that's kind of the goal, you know. I like the B-roll, all of the high angle shots, whether they were drone or helicopter, however you got them. I thought they were impressive and nice to look at.
This documentary has some great visuals. The soundtrack was perfect. The camera movement felt unique and how it connected with the overall theme of this documentary.